We learned about it, of course, from Succession. Michael, welcome back. Good to have you here.
It's great to be back.
So how did your quiet luxury do this holiday season?
This year was fantastic. The whole year was quite strong, and then these last few months were really, really very strong, way beyond what we actually expected. Really to the point where usually we tell our customers that if you were to shop with us late January, February, we would still have most of those core items still available. I just looked over our inventory, and for many of our core styles, we only have 1 or 2 pieces left in each size. So that's a good problem to have, but I guess if you want one, get it soon, because we're thankfully it was very, very strong.
Well, that's good news, but how's the supply chain looking? Can you replenish this inventory?
Not for this year, no. We have what we have for this fall, winter, and already soon we place the order with our factories in Italy for next year. So that's it for this year, and then we sort of, close up shop. We'll do a little bit more of our spring-summer collection come March, April time. But no, the big stuff happens again next year.
Do you have a sense of how the retail segment overall did? I mean, is this specifically luxury? How did luxury do as opposed to the mainstream?
So it's interesting. Our customer, you could sort of separate into 2 types of customers. The typical luxury guy or girl who is usually spending luxury prices, usually shopping in luxury stores, and that is overall doing very, very well. And then there's also the splurger, the person who usually is a little bit more bargain hunting, who doesn't typically spend at our price points, but for items like us or other items where they feel like they keep on buying and they're not getting what they want, they'll splurge and say, I finally need a coat that does what it's supposed to do. I need a coat that looks nice and is warm, will keep me dry. We actually just had a customer from Blackstone who bought from us, and he said that coats need to do three things: keep you warm, keep you dry, and look nice. And goes, yours, check off all 3. So for a lot of customers who usually don't spend that much, they're the splurge customer, and they'll come to us. And in both of those worlds, we're seeing it very strong. However, I think some of the other vendors are not seeing it quite as strong if they don't have the performance aspect. Especially for that splurge customer, you have to have compelling features. You have to have a little bit more to the story, or else they might be veering away from some of the spending right now.
The U.S. consumer has done remarkably well so far. There's reports that it might be weakening a little bit. It sounds like you're not seeing that yourself. But do you think you're taking market share away from others as opposed to the overall tide continuing to rise?
No, actually, a lot of the competitors, if you will, from 20, 30 years ago sort of left this space. A lot of the big brands that people at home will be pretty familiar with have really geared themselves more into urban wear, more into streetwear, and have left more of this quiet luxury behind. So we're picking up a lot of those people who are shopping and don't know what to get. There are a lot of people, we've heard this from some of the big department stores we sell to, that we are picking up a lot of customers who would have walked out empty-handed if it wasn't for Norwegian wool. So I don't think we're necessarily pulling away market share. I think we're getting all these customers who weren't going to buy a coat if they didn't know about us.
One of the big stories has been return to office.
Sure.
A lot of employers have been really urging their employees to come back. How is that affecting your demand?
So we're certainly seeing that's happening a lot. I would say there are even some customers, they may not be back 5 days a week, but they're certainly back 3-4 days a week, and their closet has to reflect that. One thing we're seeing is a lot of shopping from the suburbs. We always see the big cities, Boston, Chicago, D.C., New York, and the European big cities. And this year, the zip codes have extended well beyond the big cities into a lot of the luxury suburban markets, more so than in previous years. And I think it's because a lot of those customers were city people who bought homes in a lot of these places, and now they're coming back to the office and they're commuting for the first time, whether in their own car or on a train, and now they need a coat for that. So back to work is definitely happening, and it's certainly helping us.
How cyclical is your business? I mean, we identify you with coats, particularly warm garments. And we get into the summer here, we don't need warm garments. So does it come up and come down? Is this the peak for you right now?
It's definitely the peak, but items like our sport jackets, which I'm wearing right now, and our raincoats and things like that, we sell those all year long. And some of those really do peak in March, April when it's chilly but not freezing. Our raincoats are good for even August time. So we still have a continued business all year round, but certainly fall, winter is our peak.
So we're about to end 2023. What does 2024 look like to you? There's a lot of talk about whether we're going to go into a recession, whether there's going to be a drop-off in the economy.
I think I'm sure a lot of other people come on these shows who could say more than me, but I think it looks like we're headed towards a soft landing. Certainly, a lot of our luxury customers are somewhat agnostic to that anyway, but things are looking strong. I would say that there's a lot of fundamentals that are looking strong. Some of the things that were going on in other parts of the world that haven't spilled beyond that. So there's a pretty positive, strong sentiment amongst customers. And for us, we're continuing to do what we're doing, focusing on a lot of our core products, but also developing some new items. We get feedback from customers. I have 5 of your coats already, but I wish you have made whatever. And then we bring that to our production and design team to see if there's something there from that.
So you've got a strong base, it sounds like. How do you expand from here? Where do you go? Is it more outlets? Is it more products? Is it more demographic lines?
So I think last time I was here, I mentioned that we're seeing a lot of growth on the women's side, because that we launched more recently, and that's been a huge source of growth and will be, because there's a lot of